Hello guys, welcome once again. As always, I'll give people a second to join in, and we'll be on our way. Let me just check something. I'll wait. How you all doing today? Are you feeling all right? Ready to do some texturing and a bit of lighting we're also gonna do, because stuff that's gonna make our nice models pop. And if there's anyone who's new, let me know in the chat if you want. Usually it's nice to know if there's new people joining in or not. Hello Elena, nice to see you again. So many cameras. Hey Ian, welcome. So the first thing I want you all to do is to download what I'm sending. That's a small scene with this one right here that me and a group made for a project a year ago, actually now. Hello, my first time joining. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Alice. Welcome. So my name is Oliver, and I'm here to help you understand what we're doing. And hey, Renan. And yeah, hopefully get started on your texturing and lighting journey. So if there's anything you're in doubt of, anything you need help with, write me in the chat the moment you can, because then I'll look over and I will try to assist you as fast as possible. Because I'm not here to do anything crazy good. As I always say, I'm here to help you get better. We're not going to texture all this today. So what I was thinking is I will choose an object. If you want to choose something else, feel free. Or you want to see how much you can texture. But I just thought you guys can choose whatever you want. You know, there's a record player. That's, you know, a bit tricky. So if you're used to doing some texture, you can go a bit crazy. I will show you guys some reference how we textured it when we made it. So I'm not gonna show the whole thing, but we made this basically. Just gonna turn off this. So some wooden planks, you know, some leather on the chair, rough, what's it called? Rough concrete on the walls, making stuff look, you know, and the cardboard box as well, make them look old. Let me see what else. Over here, you can see you have some books as well. You can also try to texture some books if you feel like it. But this is all for those who want to have an extra challenge. You can see this is the record player. So what we're gonna be doing, or I'm gonna be doing, is I'm gonna do the table first, just to show you guys how to add a texture. And then we'll probably just hide everything else that we're not gonna be using. So you can take the chair here. Where is it? Am I blind? Why is it not? Oh well, we'll figure it out. I'm not gonna text the chair, so I'm actually just gonna delete this. Delete. Wait. Delete. Okay. So much stuff. You don't have to do that. Okay, so when we, first of all, I need to show you guys how to navigate, of course. Sorry about that. It's because I do it every week, so sometimes I forget it actually. So if you're new to Blender, to navigate, you hold middle mouse button. See, I'm rotating around. And you can also left click up here. It's the same. Hold shift, middle mouse to pan around, looking the same way. You can also click on the little hand over here. To zoom in out, you can either do the zoom with the scroll wheel, hold control, middle mouse, or use the loop here, the zoom thingy. So middle mouse, shift middle mouse. All right. So when we texture stuff, we need to have a different mode on than we have right now. And what I mean by that is we have different shading views here. So we have the, what's it called? The wireframe. So you can see how it looks like topology wise, we call it. So we can see the edges. We also have the solid view, where you see how it looks without any color on. Then we have the material preview. And it's not going to show anything right now because we don't have any textures on. Because they were in the other scene. So right now there's nothing on. And if we want to render it, you click up here. But we don't want to do it now. We're going to do it in the end so we can see it nicer. But it's going to be a lot heavier to work with. So when we want to make a texture, we first have to give it a material, we call it. And what is a material? Well, I can see from my face. You cannot. Can I move this? Okay, move this up here. So down here we have this red thing called material. You're gonna click that and it's gonna open up a little window. So with this top, what's it called? Tabletop selected. You wanna go and make a material. So let's say it looked like this. You would click on the plus sign or the new sign to make a material. And you would rename it, and it's called this table top. You can also call it wood, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter, as long as you can find it again, of course. Next, we have a lot of different options down here. And the first one is the base color. You can change how it looks. Again, if we're in solid view, you're not going to see what you're doing. So you have to be in material preview. And we're not going to use any of this, but you could just set a basic color if you want to. There's also a lot of other things. We're not going to go into those now because we're going to see it in a minute when we add an actual texture to it. And what is a texture? That is a 2D file that you put onto your 3D objects, and it's gonna, you know, be all over it. I think it's hard to explain actually. But let me show what we do. So for those of you who are not used to texturing, go to Google. So open a Google tab or whatever browser you use and search for polyhaven.com. Okay. Again, if there's any questions, if you're a bit behind, let me know. Write me in chat. I'll give a recap or help you where you're stuck. But for now, we just want to go to Polyhaven. You want to go to the assets up here. Then you want to go to textures because we want textures today. Aha, makes sense. And you want to go to wood because we want this to be made of wood. And then you can choose whatever you want. I think wood table sounds really nice because it's a wood table I want to make and it's kind of old. So you want to click on it, and up here you can click on download, and it's going to give you a zip file. So download it, whatever texture you want your object to be. You don't have to do the table if you want to try something else. That's totally up to you. I'm going to do the table so you can follow me if you want. So it's done. I have a zip file here, and I want to extract everything. So that's up here, the extract button. And I get this little pop-up window where I can go dive into the textures, and I get these 4 different files. And let's look at them. Just gonna open them up if I can. Okay, one time. So the first one is called diff. And what is diff? Well, diff is short for diffuse, which basically means color. I don't know if it's exactly translated to color, but that is what it is. So this one contains the color of our texture, and you can see it's looking very nice. The next one up here you can see it's called DISP 2K, because we have downloaded 2K texture. You saw that here. You can also choose an 8K if you were crazy. DISP is the displacement map. That means it's gonna actually push your stuff a bit out, so it's gonna show all the crevices. So for example here, it will create some depth. We're not gonna be using that today, but now you know what it is. Next up, we have the roughness. Rough, it's called. Roughness is also a black and white image, and that displays where something is shiny or where it's not shiny. That's basically what roughness is. So my t-shirt here is very rough. It's not reflecting any light. I don't know. This guy here is reflecting a lot of light, so it has lower roughness. Lower roughness, yeah. And lastly, we have the GL. I can see it up here. GL. I don't know what the GL is, or something's called DX or something. But the normal map is something that is gonna fake details. So you can see it has all these nice veins from the wood, crevices, cracks, etc. It's not gonna actually move the mesh around or your object, but it's gonna simulate it. You're gonna see it in a minute. So what do we do with all these? Well, let's open up Blender. Let's go to shading. And if you click F and zoom in, you should be, or you can click the comma key on your numpad. And if you don't like this, if you think this is annoying, this room, you can delete it. You don't need it, but otherwise you can just dive in and scroll wheel, move around. Okay, so we want to see this table. First off, we need some real estate. There's, a lot of windows open. We don't need them. So I'll go up here to the middle of these two. I left click drag like this. And same here, left click drag. And join areas, it's gonna say. And then you have some more space. And we don't need this that much. We just need to see the preview. And we're gonna have some nodes. Oh God. It's not as bad as it sounds or looks. I can show you more daunting nodes, don't worry. But it's pretty simple. We have our material here, our shader. And you can see when we click on the tabletop, we get the tabletop material that we made. You can see here which we have. The others are just some that we made in a project, so don't worry about that. We want the tabletop. And you can see we have something called base color that we changed earlier. But in our texture folder here, we also downloaded our diffuse, which was our base color. So you want to click on it and you want to drag it into Blender. And it's going to spawn here. So what I did was I took a image texture, is what it's called. It's a node called image texture, and then I clicked open, and well, no, I didn't do all these, but that's what happened. And this is exactly the same, but it's just easier for me to drag it in, I feel like, instead of making a texture and go finding it. But you can do both. So then you go to add and you can search. So I'll search for image texture if that's what I wanted, but I only need one. And you can see we have this bright dot here, the color, which I want to plug into the color. And look what happens. We get some texture going. Very nice. Wait. Okay. Don't worry if it's turned the wrong way. We can always change that later. But this is a color. I think if you want to isolate something, you can click on the slash on your numpad, and it's gonna isolate. It's gonna be easy to see maybe. So right now, if you look at it like this, it looks super flat. There's no detail. There's no shininess. It's shiny all over in a way, and we don't want that. So we need to add another texture for this to go away, or at least look more interesting, I would say. So we have the wood table rough 2K. We want to drag that into, and we want to take, I can't even remember which one I used, the color or the alpha. Let's just try the alpha first into the roughness, and you can see something definitely changed. What if I do the color? Okay, that looks more interesting. Maybe. Let me just make sure. Because this map is not a color map. It is a black and white map. So we need to make sure that the color space is set to non-color instead of anything else. Because otherwise it's going to look super weird. Sometimes at least. So I want to make sure that we do that. I feel like it's this one. I can't remember. Lastly, we have our NorGL wood table. Let's drag that in. Because right now it's still looking super flat. You can see there's no details when you get close. And that's what we want, because otherwise it looks fake. So, again, we set this to non-color. A normal map is a bit different than the others. As you see, the input is a blue dot. So it requires something blue. And what we need that is a conversion node. And in every single program, you need this. I don't know why they don't fix it, so it just automatically loads it in the program. It's a mystery to me, but in every single program, whether it's Houdini, Blender, Maya, whatever you name it, you need to call a normal map. Like this. And you need to plop the color in here, and the normal in here. And you can see it's, I'm gonna show it before and after. Look at the details coming up here, especially here. You can really see it. And if you increase the strength, it's gonna be way too much. But it looks nice. Pretty sure it's a color. Otherwise it looks the same all over. Yeah. So that's a normal map. It simulates details. So without it, with it overly cranked up. And that now we have a texture. Super nice. So if we don't like the way this is facing, if this is going the wrong way, I could imagine it looks a bit like that. We can flip it, or we can scale it, or we can do whatever we want actually. So let us go to the UV editing. And disappeared. You can middle mouse drag up here if your stuff disappears. So middle mouse drag to the right. Just put this back on. And we need to go to material preview again, just so we can see something. Find our table. And click A for all. And you can see that we actually have our texture out here. That's the one we made. And you might be wondering, what are UVs? What is that? And basically, UV is a way to cut up our mesh. You know, we open it up and we splatter it onto a 2D image like this. Think of it as a what's it called? Chocolate that's been wrapped like this. I always show this every time because it makes so much sense that we have a 2D texture, a 2D image that we then wrap around something 3D. And of course it needs to be cut open certain places, but these folds you kind of want to hide. And we already done it for you in this model, so you don't have to think about it. Just know that this is cut up and put over here. But it's too small. So we need to scale it and move it. So you can click again, A for all, go over to the UV tab and click G for grab. And you can see that the texture is moving when we do this because we're changing the coordinates on our UV. And we then want to scale it. And I want to have it fill the whole thing. And you can see it already looks so much better. I think the direction is, yeah, that's correct. It was just because it was so small that we couldn't really see it actually. So something like this, I think is good. And if we go back to shading, you can now see that the planks are actually looking like planks. All right, so that's how you apply texture. And if you want, you can reuse some of it. Let's look at our reference here. Can we see it properly? A bit. So these ones have a different texture, but you could maybe reuse it on the one below. So super easy, you just click on it. It already has a material, but we don't want to use this. We want another one, our tabletop. So I click on the little drop-down menu, go to tabletop, and I add it. And you can also do that on the sides if you want. And maybe it's not smart, maybe it's not going to look good, but you could do it like this. All right. Otherwise, you would make a new material. Maybe you would remove this one by clicking the minus. The new material you would call whatever you want. It could be what's it called? En skuffe. Drawer, it's called, of course. A drawer. So I call this drawer, and you can call it drawer shader, drawer texture if you want, but I'm just gonna call it drawer shader. I'm gonna open up shading, and now I need to find / to go back. I need to find a new texture because these don't work for this. So let me click here, drawer shader. Let me go back to Copenhagen and go back, and let's see if we can find something that looks a bit like it, but not the same. So it could be this one table. I'm gonna download it, and again you can choose whatever you want. It's just to practice right now. We just want to get it to work, so to speak. So the goal for today is just to texture one object, and then we're gonna do some lighting, and that's gonna be it. Just nice, easy intro to it. So again, I'm gonna select my diffuse. Mind that I'm in the drawer shader. Gonna add it to the base color. Wait. I'm gonna take my roughness, take the color apparently, and set it to non-color. And lastly, I'll take my normal. I'll click Shift A or go to add. Type normal map. Wait. Damn it. And plop the color into color and normal into normal. And I'll give you guys a second to catch up, don't worry. And then I will look at it. Wait. You can see this is a different material. And you can, when I click on this one, I can go up here and I can add, yeah, it's here, drawer shader. So now I have it on both. Okay. So now I have a different texture on the bottom. And now I can just click on whatever I want. So this one, go and find my drawer shader and apply it. Same with this one. Yeah, so do that for the extra here. You can also add it on the legs if you think it makes sense. It looks kind of weird though. All right. So I will let you guys figure out the last material for these. It's probably going to be a different wood texture. Except, wait, the knob here we want to be different because it's not made of wood, it's made of metal. So we can either go find a a metal texture online, but actually we don't need to do that in this case because it's pretty simple. As you can see here, it doesn't really have a lot going on. If it's a close-up you will want to do it, but in this case I just want to have a new material. I want to call this metal knob. I'll set the base color to a grayish, like this, and it's a metal thing. And look what we have here in our material properties. Over here we have something called metallic. You can also see it in your shader menu here. If I turn it, you can see something is happening. And when you use the metallic, the metalness, something is always either fully metallic or not metallic at all. It's never in between. There's no reason for it to be a slider, because you always, I can't think of anything at least where it would be half and half. So you just crank it up, and then maybe a base color is a bit too much, so you can always change that a bit to have a more silver vibe. Metallic BDF. We just have a normal BSDF, and you just crank up the metalness. And you see we have this nice metallic look going on. It's also on the walls right now, so I can change those if I want to another material. But I think this kind of looks nice. And then you can also play with the roughness. Should it be shiny like this? It's very, very shiny. It's like a mirror actually. Oh, these need another. But this is, this is very matte. That's not really the kind of metal we're looking for. So I think, they're kind of shiny, but not too much. I think this is like decent, like 4.4 metalness, looking kind of good. Gonna change these ones back to material. I feel like that's not too bad. I know always just did in the materials and it was good enough. Yeah, exactly. That's what I also did here. If you want something that looks more realistic, you would want, scratches and crevices and stuff like that. But unless you go super close, you're not going to see it in this case. So you can keep it like this. Of course, this cup here that has the metalness to it, it's way too perfect. So you would want to find, you'd go here, you'd go back, and you'd go to, where is it? Middle, and you'd find something maybe not that rusty. These are a bit much. What is this? This is not what I would. Maybe like this, and then change the color, so you have all these little scratches and dots and imperfections. That's usually how you'd go about it. But yeah. Now I almost have a table. I just need to fix this. And Blender has plugins, or add-ons it's called. So if you want to find plugins, you can go up to Edit, Preferences, and either they're under your add-ons, but if you haven't, if you can't find it, you have to go to Get Extensions and search for it. And in my case, it's the one called Polygon, but I already have it. So Polygon with 2 eyes. You can get that. There's also a bunch of other add-ons that you can find. But what this does, even if you don't pay for it, you can still use it. I want to select a category and choose free. And I actually have a lot of textures that I can just download and apply without doing all the stuff I showed you. So let's say I want to use this brushed matte middle. If I click on my little knob and I click apply after download, you can see now I have another texture. and automatically applies it. And I can apply it to as many things as I want. It takes only a click, super fast. Blender kit also good. Yeah, probably. I haven't tried it. I think I used it for like brushes, for ZBrush at one point. But yeah, we can try it. Let me see. Blender kit. Oh, but remember to save, guys. Control S. Or go up save or save as. Very important. Okay. Material, scenes. Material. Okay, we have some here. A lot actually. This earth. Use Blender kit all the time. Okay. Very nice. Scratch light pan. Planks. I think I might want to use this plywood thing. Can I just drag it? Okay. Easy. So just simply I take it and I drag it and it appears. I can type the name. I think there's so much good stuff. Why can I type though? Oh, up here. Let's say wood. Let's try this one. Beautiful. So the reason it's looking like this is the UVs, most likely. That needs to be fixed. This one's not. Oh, I need to select it. So let me. There you go. So let me go check my UVs on this guy. I'll go to UV editing. And it looks like it's actually not. Either it's not UV'd or it's way too big. Okay, it is UV'd, it was just too big. So if you're having trouble with it, you're gonna click on your thing, click A for all, and you click S and G to make it fit in your UVs. Okay, you can do the same over here. Oh, by the way, I click on to go out of this mode. I need to go and click on object or edit mode. The shortcut is tab, as you see here. It does it for you automatically when you click on UV, but let's say you in UV and you want to change it over here, you would click tab to go back and forth between the modes. So I'm gonna scale it with S, G to move, scale with S, just make it fit something like this. And this is looking a lot better. Look at that. I feel like we actually got a little table. Very, very nice. Great. Close this guy if I can. Yes. That's our Blender kit. Super useful. Actually better than the polygon I usually use, I would say. Yeah. So, is there any questions about this? Any, things that are troubling you? Let me know. Because otherwise, I would say we would try and light this bad boy. And, do a little render. So, hit me up now if there's anything. So what I want to do is, I don't want all this clutter. I have so much stuff in the scene. So I'm gonna shift click everything that I want. And there's a lot of objects here, I know, so just take your time with it. Select everything. Shift, 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 hold shift. Select everything that you want. Let's see, was that everything? You can move it a bit to see if you got everything. Click G to grab. Okay, I think that was all. So I'm gonna click G and Y, move it out, select everything else, and not do it. Let me just try something. Okay, so first, let me see. Why is it doing that? Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna select everything else. You're gonna click H to hide. And now we can move this guy here. Object set origin to. Okay. So now you should be left with just a table. Okay. Origin to geometry. Something like this. Okay. Or whatever else you did. Maybe you also did the microphone or some books or whatever you think is nice. So when we want to render something, let's say this is a hero object I made. I'm very proud of this. I really want to showcase it. I think it's amazing. Then we want to create a backdrop, it's called. So it has a nice silhouette and it casts some nice shadows. And then we want to add some light to it and want to set up a camera. So a few things needs to happen. Let us just type Shift A, or use Shift A and search for a plane. And we're gonna get this plane. And you can either scale it with S or you can scale it here. You have the option. And I want to make it match my legs. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click G just before it actually touches. I don't want it to clip through, something like this. I'm also going to click S and X, scale a bit this way. And now we need to make it more rounded because the shadows are going to be very sharp if we just add another plane. Let's say I did this like this. Oh, R190. This is going to look very sharp. And you can clearly see it's okay if it should look like there is if it's in a living room, that would make sense. Otherwise, we would like to make a nice smooth backdrop. So I'm going to go into edit mode by clicking up here or clicking tab on the keyboard. I'm going to put these back. So again, why isn't it working? There we go. So tab. Then I'm going to click 2 on my keyboard or click on this one up here. Don't worry too much about it. We do this during the modeling bootcamp, so we're not going to do much modeling. We're just going to showcase something. So 2, click on the edge here, and you can click E to extrude and Z to lock it, and then just move it up as much as you want, or G and Z to keep moving it. So you have this nice looking thing, and we're going to click 2 again, select the new edge here, and Control and B. And you're gonna drag. And if it's not smooth, you're just gonna middle mouse drag. So you get this nice smooth thing going. Okay. And you can actually go even further with the subdivision. So it really looks smooth like this. That's nice. Then if it's too thin, you can see, let's say put a camera here, you can see the background. You're just going to click S and Y, scale up, and it's fine. Or G and Y. Okay, so we have a backdrop. Now we can start doing some stuff with it. If you want, you can add a material to this backdrop. Let's say I want it to be like, what's a contrast to wood? Let me Google contrast color. Whatever matches with it. It's like a color palette thing. I don't really get it, but it says dark wood is white, red, and light blue. Maybe like this. Interesting. And now we want a camera, so we have something to look through, and we need some light. There's already light in the scene. I don't know if it's just the basic light. It's just the basic light. So this does not count. This is just for the preview. When you go to render view, it should be dark for now. So let me just go Shift A. Let's find a camera and click. It spawns here, you can see. Now I want it to look from the front, but a bit from the side. So something like this view here. So I'm gonna look from the side. I'm gonna click G and just drag it back. And the best way to see if your camera is looking at what you want it to look at is to look through it. Okay? Because then you can actually direct it a bit better. So the first thing I want to do with my camera is I want to reset its rotations here to 0. No, not all of them. No, I want to reset the Y rotation, sorry. What do I do? Uh-oh. Where'd it go? I will make it again. Or move it again. So the Y is 0, good. And then I want to click on the camera up here, because that's gonna make me look through it. Now, if I move now, it's not gonna do anything. We need to first click on the little lock here. Toggle, enable view navigation within the camera view. So when you click this, whatever you do, movement-wise, is gonna be where your camera is gonna be looking. So let's say I wanna look at my thing like this. I think this is nice. Something like this. Then I have to click on the lock to go out again. Otherwise I'm gonna keep looking through the camera and moving it. And then I'm gonna have to move my backdrop a bit. Double check my camera. Move the backdrop a bit more. We can also rotate it with R and Z. And now my camera set up. Great. Next thing I need is lights, because it's super dark when we render. Super dark. And to add light, we do the same as with everything else. We hold Shift and click A. We go to light. And I like using the area lights, because they're not just a light bulb. If you have a light bulb, it makes sense, but otherwise you want some directional light. So I'm going to click G and Z, G and X, and move it back a bit. And then we'll click R and Y to rotate it like this. So the way the ray or the line is pointing is where it's going to light up stuff. And if you don't see anything, it's just because there is no power on it, no exposure. So the first thing I want to do is increase the exposure to 3. And let's do 100 first. Already did something. Let's do 250. And now we're talking. I think the exposure could be 4 instead. Yeah. Next up, I want it to look good, right? So just don't want a flat straight light. I want to move it a bit to the side. So G and Y. I want to rotate on the Z, so R and Z. See something like this maybe. Maybe even more actually, G and Y. Gonna rotate. Rotate. And something like this. This is looking interesting. And you can always crank up the power a bit more if it's not enough. But I don't want it to, I want it to still look dim. I don't want it to be overly lit. Let's see how it looks through the camera. Uh-oh. Something like this. Okay. Interesting enough. Now, we have a problem here. And that is that there are dead pixels. It's totally black. And of course there's no light source lighting it. So it shouldn't be lit up. But we want to cheat a bit here with what is called a fill light. And that's just to give enough light or to cheat some light bounces, because usually light hits a wall, then bounces and hits something else, and it does this a lot. So just this would create light here if it's strong enough, but we want to again cheat a bit. So I'm going to make a new light, Shift A, area light. I'm now going to move it to the side, G and Y, G and Z. I'm going to move it a bit over here, rotate on X, rotate on Z, so it points to this area that is being super dark. And then again I want to crank up the exposure just to 1 and power to 100. And I think that was almost too much actually. Let's try 50. Let's try 1.5. This is perfect. See, I just wanted to not look dead. That's all I want. I don't want it to be, you know, crazy lit. So this is a nice room light. Let me show without it. Fill light, sorry. I can also name it fill light because it's filling up the dead pixels. See? I could actually tone it down a bit more. And I can also move it a bit down. Something like this. Okay. The last thing is we have a hard time seeing the silhouette of our table. Because the light is just hitting it and then it's just dark here and it's not really clear where it is. And we wanna accentuate that. So we're gonna do what's called a rim light. So it's basically gonna light up the rim of our object. And with that we will have completed our 3-point light system, which is a thing. So Shift A, light and area, G and Z, G and X, G and Z, R and Y to rotate. I need to put a lot more down. G and something like this. Okay, now I want to scale it because I wanted to hit the entire table. So I'm going to click S and Y and just click S to scale up a bit. And something like this. And I wanted to have, you know, a color just to make sure you can see what it is. So I'm going to change the temperature to 1500. You can also just add a tint if you want. I don't want that, so gonna go with some temperature. Let's go with aspect ratio of 2, power of 50. That's way too much, of course. Let's see how it looks from here. Yes, this is way too much. Obviously. I just want to hit the rim, so I might do like this and rotate it. Something like this. Power down to maybe power down to 20. Let's see. And you might need more rim lights to make it work. So here you get the silhouette a tiny bit here, but I actually feel like it's too little. So I would Shift D and move it a bit to the side. Scale it SY, SZ, G and Y, and get something like this going. Maybe tone it. You see, this is a rimlet. This is what I wanted actually. Just to accentuate the details. So I can also go over here, something like this. Wait. And this can also be a little. So now you can see we're getting some light going on the back. It might be too much. You can always tone it down a bit. But just to really accentuate the silhouette. Okay. Lastly, I don't like the knobs here. They look super weird. So I'm gonna go back to my Blender kit. I'm gonna go for metal. And I think I'm gonna try this one. It's better. Maybe this one instead. Oh, that sucks. Maybe. Because I want something a bit shiny, but not. Maybe this one is good. So I'm gonna click and add it on all these. That's a good thing about add-ons because it makes our life so much easier. Sometimes. When it works. Let's see this one. to... That's better. I think this looks nicer. It's annoying that I have to drag it though. I would like to just be able to click assign. I think that's it's a scam. There you go. Okay, let's check through the camera. Yeah, now we're talking. This is looking pretty nice. It's at least a nice showcase of something that I made in 2 minutes. I can also check this actually. Remember to save. Don't drag it, just click. I am doing that. I'm clicking. Oh my god, I just need to click more. Okay, this has fucked UVs as well. Thank you, Lena. I get told that sometimes I'm a total unk, so maybe that's what is wrong here. Okay, let me just see here. The UVs are super wrong on this one. This is better. But I don't like the material actually. So now I'm just playing around, but what kind of look do I want? And then I'm, you know, doing that. I think this might look good. And then of course I'm changing the UVs if it's messed up. I think because this middle was kind of meh. Okay, I'm double clicking. This one needs as well. Oh, this is huge as well, so I need to scale it down like this. This is also huge, so tab A is for scale. Something like this. Let me check my camera again. This is looking better. Now we're talking. It's actually pretty nice. Great. So you guys can finish up it, or you can, you can add some nice textures, add some nice light, a nice camera. I'm just gonna go over some render settings. So what would you want to set up in order to render it out so it looks nice? So I usually don't use the Eevee render. Control S. I use the cycles because it's gonna look. I think it looks nicer. It's gonna think a bit and compute. I also think Eevee doesn't use your GPU; it uses your CPU, and the CPU renders are usually faster if you have a CPU that is decent, of course. So the first thing you want to change when you're here is want to change to the GPU compute. This guy. I'm just gonna, everything that's hidden, I'm just gonna remove it from render as well. So this button here removes it from render. Otherwise, it's gonna be rendered even though you can't see it in the viewport. So very important that you do that. Next up, I'm gonna change the samples. So in my viewport, I don't need 1,000 samples. I just need 200. It's just to preview what I have. I do want a denoiser so I can see how it looks. And I want to use the optics one. That's usually the best. In my render though, the more samples, the cleaner it's going to look. But the longer it's going to take. And can your computer take it? That's up to you. So I'm actually going to go with 4,000 samples just to see what happens. Change to optics. And that is basically what you need to set up. There's a lot of other things you can do, but just for a basic render, this is perfectly fine. I think mine has another camera chosen, so the render turns out blank. Any idea how to get the right? Yes, I do. So you want to go to output. I think I do actually. We'll see. Let me see here. Is that here? Render. Did I forget where I was? Yes. So it's on the scene. You have a camera selected here. So you can add camera, the one you have used. You can also call it my camera, or just so you can find it. And then you want to apply that here. Okay. That should fix it. Under output, we want to select where we want to output it. So I'm going to click here. I want to go to my desktop, find my Oliver T Bootcamps, renders. I'm going to call this table texture light render, accept. Bam. And I want it as an image, and I want it as a PNG is fine. And let me see. I think this looks good. So once you've set up the camera, your image, and your output, you can go up to render and click render image or F12. And I'm getting this render window. What? Right here. And it's not what I want. Oh, I know what's happened. So I hit too much. I accidentally hit. Let me just try and put everything back. Because the scene is super messy, it doesn't show it. Just this and this and this. Let me try again. Because because I imported from Maya as an FBX, then it looks super weird. Let's see. Okay, this is weird. I'm just gonna try and put everything back. Not this light though. So any lights you can kinda remove, of course. Chair should be fine. Now it should be fine. Because I'm a scene, I have my camera. Render, view render. Oh, render image. It's gonna think. Maybe I'm gonna get, oh, maybe I know why it's not working. I think what is happening is that actually it is rendering the table, but it's also trying to render everything else, because I probably have a wall right here, now that I think about it. So what I'm going to do is I will I'll select everything I have here. I'll click G and Y. Just move it all the way over here. And let's see if that doesn't fix it. Actually, that could be enough. Because it's trying to load everything in the render, even though I don't see it. It probably just had a wall right where I wanted to render. So fingers crossed, it should work now, or I will get impatient. What? Oh my god. Why the... Okay. Old age. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It does move everything for some reason. So it is because I have a wall. At least now I know. So I'm just gonna delete this wall. And I think I'll do it the hard way. I'm just gonna delete everything I'm not using here. Delete this. And that's the problem with a scene that's not from, you know, from Blender. It's it doesn't import very well. Okay. Okay, let me just try and move everything again. So I'm gonna select everything I want. If you didn't move it back to 0 in the first place, you would actually not have this problem. So if you didn't do that, you are smarter than me. I usually work in Maya, and I don't know, I find it a lot easier to figure out where stuff is, but I'm used to that, I guess. So it's not necessarily Blender's fault, but it is Blender's fault. I'm gonna select my camera, my fill light, and my other lights. Let's say G and Y. Oh, I'm missing a draw. G and Y. There you go. Oh no, did I delete my backdrop? No. Luckily, it can be brought back. So I'll just make a new backdrop. Shift A, mesh, plane. Scale the hell out of it. I'm gonna extrude. I'm gonna control B to bevel. And maybe move it a bit closer. I kind of like the color, so I'm gonna go back into my materials. I'm gonna find the material that was the red color. And let's check our camera again. Where's my camera? Did I delete it? Oh my god. I will make a new camera as well. Well, sometimes it's messy to work in 3D, especially when you don't use the software that much. Go to my camera, I'm gonna lock it. I will set it up as I did before. Nice angle. Something like this. Move it a bit back. Move this a bit. Move it a bit up so it doesn't float. Very important that you see the shadows have contact. It's gonna be very, very visible that it's not real if it's floating like this. This is good. Okay. Let's cross fingers, guys. Let me click render F12. Please, God. I don't know what would be wrong if it doesn't work now. It's gonna think. There we go. Finally. Okay. Once you have your render, go to our Discord channel. The link is in the YouTube. Here you can also, if you sign up or join CADA, you can also get announcements via the YouTube announcement when there is a bootcamp, so you don't miss it. It's of course every Wednesday, but if you forget it, you can be reminded. So it's a nice way to, get a little heads up. But go to CADA Discord and go under 3D Bootcamp, and you can see people usually post what they made. Last time we made a pool table. I was gonna text you that today, but the way it was built was not good for texturing, so I decided on something else. So what we want to do when the render is done, I can see it's done now. You want to go to image, save as, or maybe it's actually saved already. Let me just double check. Maybe it renders. It did not. Can I do save? Oh well. I will save manually. Renders. I'll call this table texture lit. Boom. And I'll go here and I will upload it. See where it was. Renders. And it's here. I kind of think it looks nice today. Texture and flat. Whoopsie. I really think that this texture matches well for the drawers. Also as a contrast to the rest. Like, of course, it's too nice compared to this. So if I found a better texture for the others, it would be nice. But I really like the texture on the drawers. It looks like it could be something. So yeah, if you guys want feedback on what you made, if you just want to share it, whatever is usually fun and nice, then people put it up on Discord here. And then we're gonna spend like the next 5-10 minutes on that, and that's gonna be it for today. So put up whatever you have, and yeah. You couldn't figure out the camera. I think it's because you had the same as me. You hit things and then they're still there, and it's grouped weirdly. So you would have to move everything away that you just click on it manually instead of selecting. Super weird. Usually when something is hidden and you select everything, it shouldn't select that, but nothing to do there. Okay, let's see. Okay, I like the cushions. It's like an old grandma chair. And Bulbasaur, is that the one you made? That's really fun. So what Elena did was take a PNG or JPEG and use that as the texture on the picture. And then you can add, your own pictures or whatever you want. Also had time for these. Looks really good. I love it. And like that it's wood here, then it's metal, and then you have this like almost plastic for the table, which is not uncommon for a lot of tables. I have a table at home that's just plastic, basically. And very nice lighting. I feel like you could, with the light, you could highlight a bit more. Get some. So the main light hit it from one side, maybe here, a bit sharper, or the other side, just to give it a bit more interest. Because right now the light looks a bit samey all over. There's no direction or anything. So I would have a bit sharper light going from one side, have a fill light, and then add some rim just to to light up the edge a bit more, make it more interesting. But otherwise it looks really good. I like the backdrop. Also create some interest for sure. But be a bit more, I don't know, be more wild with your lighting, I would say. But otherwise, I think it's really good. So not to brag or anything, but I think this looks a bit more interesting. That there's hard light here. Suddenly everything like crazy. Bulby got his blind. Yes, of course it did. Nice. Yeah, sorry about the messy scene. It's I didn't think of that when I took in. Alright, anyone else? Feel very free to share. It's usually fun to see what people made. Remember to save your scene as well. So now I should be able to. No, I can't delete. What the fuck is wrong with this scene? I have no idea. Alright, Renan is typing. But lighting is also like an extra thing. I just started adding because it just creates so much for your stuff. Nice. Okay, you got the texture a lot. Very cool with the lamp here. So I guess that's a point light. Okay, it looks really nice. I like the cushions as well. And the wallpaper texture looks like it could be in this this universe. Damn, really good job, man. And actually, if you really were crazy, you could have applied one texture to all of the planks just to give the wood as well, if you wanted to. Because that's just one texture, and then you just select all of them and apply. And it's a point light, yeah. Because that gives a very nice effect, for sure. a thing for lighting, because this this light is pretty sharp. It's like daylight coming in. Looks like it's coming from the side. And then this part here is very dark compared to how much light is coming here. So I would imagine in real world light would bounce so much that this would have more light, so you could add a fill light on this as well. Nothing crazy, just you know, just a soft light, so it looks a bit more, you know, when light comes from here, it shouldn't be as dark here. That's like my only comment, I would say. Otherwise, it's very nice. Didn't have time. Yeah, of course. It's also you did a lot more than most, so more than everybody. So I think it's super cool. I love it. Yeah, cool guys. That's all for today. Next week is gonna be sculpting. It's gonna be fun as always. We did some Pokemon. I think I'm gonna do like a tree or something that's, you know, organic still, but it's gonna look super cool when you get to sculpt it. Kind of like we did with the Groot, just more on a bigger scale and less detailed. But I'm gonna think about it. It's gonna be something that's gonna look super satisfying when we get it. I'm gonna play with some brushes. And as always, remember to join the Discord and the what's it called? Open house is next week. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be there. CADA. Thursday. So the day after the next bootcamp is gonna be the open house. Come see the school. Come talk to me or other students or some of the teachers. If you have any questions, if you want to see what we're doing, what's happening, feel free to drop in. Yeah. So that's gonna be it. Thank you all for joining as always, and see you next Wednesday. We don't want to watch this actually. It's outdated. Cool. Bye bye guys.